Hello and welcome everybody to the Yard Red Festival. It is a charity event, or more or less a charity event, to raise money to help the Ukrainian refugees. So go out there, buy the ticket for this for sure, for the in-game one. It's only $1 and all of it will go to the charity. Of course, it's the team's also playing for some money. It's almost $5,000 on the line for them. So it's not for nothing. It's not only for charity. It's also for teams to just kind of make a name for themselves. But it's going to be HellRaisers, previously known as Compass Gaming, versus Space Soldiers, which were Ant Victor before and even before that Central of Fear. More or less the same lineups for both. But it's only going to be a best of one. A little bit awkward, but that's how the lower bracket works here. So whoever loses this will be completely out. However, who wins this game will have a def win in the next game as well, just because HellRaisers is no more pretty much. So they're gonna get almost to the loser bracket final, almost. Only one best of one, just separating them from that after this. But in any case, we're HeflaTV, the English coverage for you. I'm Coacher, and I'm joined by Mike Lores. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. This is kind of a weird scenario, as the HellRaisers that you see before you are not the HellRaisers that were playing for the previous rounds. They had a completely different lineup, and it's pretty much a team swap in. So a little bit of a weird situation right here, but this HellRaisers, aka past Compass Gaming, incredibly strong. I would say probably even stronger than the previous HellRaisers. So I wouldn't be surprised if they just blow through all the rest of the losers bracket, but who knows? It is, of course, a best of one, so unpredictable things can and probably will happen.
I would expect them to happen at least, but I have to agree with you that these Hellraisers might be stronger. I mean, Compass Gaming, they've been around for quite some time now, have had some decent-ish success, but more or less they've gotten themselves into bigger tournaments now as well. But looking at the bans, Hellraisers have taken out the IO together with the Naga Siren, Space Soldiers planning out the Batrider and Death Prophet. So Space Soldiers, do they think Ogre Magi is like first pick worthy, or do they just go for something like a Brewmaster?
I think overall, if given the choice, Brewmaster is probably a better pick than Ogre. I mean, they're both incredibly tanky. They both do their jobs incredibly well, but Brewmaster just a lot harder to deal with. And Space Soldiers disagree with me. I mean, Ogre Magi is still a fantastic first pick, but I think that Brewmaster is a little bit stronger, and now HellRaisers have a chance to pick up that hero.
I can't really argue with you there. I mean, Brewmaster offers a little bit more. Of course, Ogre as a support is definitely strong, whereas Brewmaster, at least according to most people, does fall off later on, although it really depends on your item build and how much you're getting out of the Brewmaster early to mid game. I don't think Brewmaster is like weak in late game by any means, but Hellraisers now, they have the chance to pick it up for themselves if they want to. If not, Skyrev Mage, Mage Centaur, Tidehunter, Razor even, all of those are still available.
Yeah, so it's going to be mostly up to personal preference at this point. I don't know. People who say who that Brewmaster is weaker in the late game, I mean, he's definitely not as dominant. You can kill him off, so you're not completely invulnerable. But I mean, you're not completely invulnerable doesn't mean that you're a weak hero. He can still do so much, and you just have to build him in a certain way. So it's not really a good argument against the Brewmaster, I don't think. Like, what he does in locking down the mid game, almost guaranteeing you team fight wins every single time, is just so incredibly strong. And well, it is going to be both the Brewmaster and the Skywrath Mage. I think we're going to see a Razor here from Space Soldiers. I don't know, it's just a guess. But the Brewmaster Skywrath, an incredibly powerful combination as well. And really, they're going to need Space Soldiers. Now a lot of disables and silence effects to deal with the Brew.
Yeah, you don't really, or you can't go wrong with the Skyrev Mage as a support pick. He just offers so much. He can gank quite easily just because he has excellent base movement speed already. Concussive shot from a really long range as well to slow the hero down. But Space Soldiers, I mean, Razor definitely would be a viable pick for them. I think Tidehunter might also be one. Of course, running too many melee heroes might be a little bit troublesome for them, but it's only the first two. And Tidehunter is just such a popular hero. And well, they're gonna pick it up as well. Today I looked at the cast, and the caster was also saying that Tidehunter, one Ravage is manageable, but once he gets the Refresher Orb, just team fighting against double Ravage is almost impossible. I mean, no matter the lineup you have.
Yeah, the only way you get through that is if you have someone like a Brewmaster who could pretty much ignore all of that. But Tidehunter, if he does get that much farm, you're going to be in a lot of trouble if you're the Hellraisers. Now, they do have answers for it. As I said, Brewmaster is great at doing that. If you throw Tidehunter into the air with the Cyclone, you don't have to worry about any Ravages, or you could just slap an Ancient Seal on him and tell him to shut up, and then he won't cast anything either. So HellRaisers, they are kind of well suited to deal with this hero, not in as far as laning is concerned, more in the mid game when Tidehunter Ravage is truly a threat. But Space Soldiers, as you said, are going to pick up two melee heroes. It's not a terribly huge problem just yet. If these are the only two, then that's perfectly reasonable. But yeah, they have to make sure to avoid overloading with melee heroes. Brewmaster's pretty good against melee. Scarth Mage, not as much. So, but you know, HellRaisers could always go for something like a Jakiro or a Sand King or a Shaker, heroes that just crap all over melee heroes.
I kid you not, I saw a game today where there were 4 melee heroes. One was the Dragon Knight, so I guess he can turn into range at some point. But all of those melee heroes were also strength heroes, and they were up against a team versus, but they won. I was legit surprised about that. So it definitely has its downsides, of course. And if you don't get ahead early on, you might just find yourself just in a pickle when you're trying to go for team fights. But I've seen it happen. I didn't think they can win against Timber so with 4 melee strengths, but it happened. HellRaisers, though, picking up a Doombringer for themselves, just excellent hero to deal with the Tidehunter.
Yeah, so HellRaisers are basically just loading up 100% on Tidehunter answers right now. You could seal him, you could doom him, you could throw him up into the air, and suddenly this Tidehunter is going to be more or less a non-factor. The only problem I see with HellRaisers right now is that if Doom ends up going versus Tidehunter in lane solo, which is not the most likely to happen, but it is still possible, then Tidehunter is going to have the easiest time in the world. So really, they have answers for the Tide, but they don't really have answers for the Tide's laning stage. So HellRaisers are going to need a little bit more damage, ideally in the form of a ranged hero, in order to poke at the Tidehunter and make sure he doesn't have a complete free time. Because even though you may have an answer for his Ravage later on, a Blink Ravage when you're caught off guard could be disastrous, and you could lose a couple towers off of it.
The Space Shuttle soldiers definitely would benefit from just drafting something that can also push after winning the team fights. So many teams actually kind of get themselves into the pocket where you get some excellent team fight, but even if you win it, you just can't get objectives afterwards. So literally anything that would help them push would be nice for them. At the moment though, range supports would be welcome. Something like a Witch Doctor, maybe even Ancient Apparition to just make sure Doom doesn't get the regeneration off. But whoa, a Legion Commander for them.
I mean, this is going to be a dangerous situation for the Legion. You could try to duel someone like Doom Brewmaster, unless you're absolutely stacked with a double damage rune. You're probably not going to kill them, because you will also have to worry about Skywrath Mage, Mystic Flares on the other end, Brewmaster, Junkin Haze, stuff like that. It's a cute hero for sure, but I don't think this is the game for Legion. And of course, this is going to be their third melee hero. This is so easily punishable by HellRaisers. If they pick up a Jakiro right now, they're going to be so good looking forward.
Oh god, Legion Commander, I think we saw a game yesterday when we didn't think Legion Commander was going to do it, but ended up winning the game anyway. Just, you need to start winning the duels though. Space Soldiers, they have a Ogre Magi to just try to burst the hero down if you get the multicast. If not though, they need a little bit extra, but Space Soldiers, picking up a Silencer. You need a silence against Brewmaster, although it might not be impactful since the silence might not even just proc before he goes for his ultimate. But I mean, Silencer all in all definitely can go for team fights. I mean, just imagine Tidehunter jumping in with a Ravage, Legion Commander coming in, dueling somebody, and then Global Silence just to make sure that Legion Commander, even if he doesn't win the duel himself, there's no way he's going to actually lose it. So they definitely have some pretty great team fight for themselves. But both of the ultimates, the Global Silence and the Ravage, are rather long.
Yeah, Space Soldiers are definitely working with a very wombo combo. But the only problem is that they're working against Doom Scarth Mage, and dueling is going to be a little bit finicky again with the Scarth Mage ultimate, and now Vengeful Spirit swap to make that so that the early mid-game Legion Commander duels are probably not going to do that well. Global Silence is threatening enough so that HellRaisers are 100% forced in going for their BKBs. I think they're probably going to get BKBs anyway, honestly, so it's going to be an important item for HellRaisers to pick up, and usually Silencer is picked up after the enemy team has some sort of combo you want to disrupt, but with this, Space Soldiers are just looking to take dominance in the team fights. I don't know if it's going to be a support Silencer or if it's going to be core, but either way, I think the Silencer is going to do quite a bit of work this game, unless he just gets completely shut down in lane, which is possible up against a VS Scarth Mage. HellRaisers, though, not with the most aggressive of lanes, so unless their last carry is someone like a Gyrocopter, then, I don't know, punishing the Silencer pick is going to be a little bit hard.
It definitely is, when you only have one pick to just work with. So I think Space Soldiers kind of nailed it with the Silencer pick here. Definitely good, whether it be a core or support, doesn't matter all that much. So they have a great supporting cast to help the Legion Commanders just win duels left and right, really. At least every single time they have all of the ultimates, winning the duel shouldn't be a problem against Skyriff Mage and Vengeful. Doom and Brewmaster might be a little bit more difficult to deal with as HellRaisers. Going for a Morphling, getting that extremely late game core for themselves. But even he might just have to go for a BKB, and as a Morphling, that's usually an item you want to avoid.
Yeah, but you really have to get it. Otherwise, Ravage Global Silence is going to screw you over so much. Random guess, I'm going to say Troll for Space Soldiers last. Don't know if that's going to happen, but I have a feeling. The Morphling pickup, it's going to give HellRaisers a little bit of late game to fall back on. Their lanes, though, are not that strong. I mean, their 3 cores, Morphling, Doom, Brewmaster, their best bet up against the Tidehunter is to have a 3v1 lane in that situation, and in that case, you have a Doom solo off lane against Silencer, Ogre, Magi. Yes, Doom has a lot of health and survivability through that, but at a certain point, he's going to be not having the best of times, so HellRaiser's laning is actually remarkably weak right now, and Space Soldiers, as long as they don't pick up a super passive hero, like, well, Medusa Spectre already banned out, so I don't think they're going to go down that route anyway. As long as they pick up the non-super passive hero, then they should be fine to stick the aggression to HellRaisers early on and really hold on to the mid game, and, well, there we go, Shadow Fiend. That's a little bit of damage right there.
So, is it just Shadow Fiend mid and Legion Commander safe lane, or are they running it the other way around?
I don't really know. I mean, you know that the Brewmaster is most likely going to be going towards the mid lane, and Legion can handle that lane, Shadow Fiend can handle that lane. Maybe you just send Legion because she could do it a little bit better, but the answer is going to be revealed to us immediately, as it's going to be Legion going down to the bottom lane. It's going to be Law playing that hero. Klansky is going to be supporting as the support Silencer with Daywalker, also supporting as the Ogre Magi. Noctis is going to be on the Shadow Fiend mid, and Frasty is going to be on the Tidehunter up top.
And for HellRaisers, on the counter side, Korets will be playing the offlane Doombringer with ASD, playing the Brewmaster in the mid lane. It should be a stand-in for them. Usually F1 is the 5th one for them, but I think F1 is a support. I'm not 100% sure on that, so don't quote me on that. But Dread will be playing the Vengeful as Artist on the Morphling, and the last one will be Goddamn on the Skyriff.
Yeah, someone in chat said that ASD was Afaninge, and they are working with a different hero from their Compass Gaming lineup with Dread, or a different player rather. So maybe this is just Afaninge taking up the mid role. No real way to confirm unless someone in chat really has 100%.
Oh, I have no idea. Checking his past like aliases, no clue who he really is. So yeah, he's from Belgium though, so that's all I know.
That doesn't help at all. Well, I mean, he'll just be Brewmaster for now. I'm sure someone will let us know down the line what his true identity is. But it is going to be, well, for the most part, it looks like it's a defensive tri-lane now from the Space Soldiers. And Gorek is going to be handling this lane just by himself. In Vizrune by the Ogre. I don't know if it was spotted by Gorek. He might have been behind the tree. But this could potentially be pretty bad for Doom. Though he does have boots first. He doesn't have a stout shield. He doesn't have any armor. And if he gets jumped upon, then it's a lot of damage on this Doom, and I think he might just be forced to just completely abandon and jungle.
At least he can jungle, so that's one positive point about him. Of course, so can Tidehunter if he really needs to, and even maybe somebody stacks the jungle for him. But Daywalker, maybe gonna try to just go and camp the courier here. Ogre Magi not the best hero to go for a courier kill, especially since he doesn't have boots either. So he might just be wasting some time here.
Yeah, what could he really do anywhere else, though? I mean, Gorek is being zoned out just by the Silencer. Going up towards top to deal with the Morphling is probably not going to help out the Tidehunter that much, so this is probably the best way to spend his time. The Brewmaster versus Shadow Fiend matchup is going to need a little bit of help with the Shadow Fiend. He now does have a point Necromastery, but I don't know, the Brewmaster has been doing a pretty decent job with the Haze level 1 in order to lock down the Shadow Fiend, but we do have a courier walking out. Ogre Magi, is he baller enough to kill off this courier?
Skill Bloodlust and go, man.
Here we go. Bottle. No, it's not going to be delivered just yet, so yeah, there we go. Bottle delivered, courier is safe and sound.
I love this courier, by the way. It looks freaking awesome.
I feel like you could probably read at a different time if you're the courier.
If he had died, then it would have been just justified just because he didn't see it coming because he was focused on his book. But both mid laners have their bottle now, so they're going to be just fine. Top lane Frasty takes quite a lot of harassment, doesn't have a stout shield for the Tidehunter either. Yes, Skyriff Mage doesn't hurt that much anyway, but with the Arcane Bolts and the right click without the stout shield, it starts adding up at some point. No points into Kraken Shell yet either. So Tidehunter has to play a little bit safer, whereas Goretz, he's just completely fine on the Doombringer. He's solo up against Legion Commander. Overwhelming Gods, a little bit annoying. But so far Klasinki, he's just been focusing on getting the pulls through, and oh! He gets the double pull, but not to the just usual camp, just gets the big camp double pull.
And that's a really hard camp to pull to any hero, really. Silencer has a lot of range, so he will do it a little bit easier, but denying a whole bunch of creeps to Gorak, and suddenly level 2 Doom, he was getting a little bit of experience, a lot more than the Tide, but having the Ogre Magi roam off the lane severely reduced the kill potential of this bottom lane of Space Soldiers. Regardless, Law is still farming very, very well. I mean, 15 for 6. He's right behind the Morphling, the last hit chart, only by 1 CS, not really too relevant there, so Legion getting a lot of farm could make a lot more mid-game plays happen than Morphling get a lot of farm, who is going to generally be geared for the late game, especially since Morphling is going to be going for a Midas. Law probably isn't going to be going down that route. He wants to get something more along the lines of Blink Dagger Power Treads, and once he has that, he's going to look to make some action happen.
I sincerely hope that Law isn't going for the Hand of Midas. I mean, just going for Blink, for example, really anything. You don't need the Midas to get the farm because you're going to get damage output from just a duel. And your mid-game presence is so great that the Midas might hinder it a little bit. But I have to agree, Morphling, he's not gonna just be able to do too much in the fights. Maybe he's gonna start joining fights early. Waveform does quite a lot of damage as well, especially if you hit multiple targets. But you're just so vulnerable early on, just dying to almost anything. But what item build do you think Morphling is gonna go for after the Hand of Midas? Does he still build Linkens in this game at all, or is it just straight off BKB?
I mean, Lincoln's is going to be pretty bad for the Morphling this game. He'll block a Fire Blast and a Gush. That's pretty much it. Best case scenario, you block a duel, but I don't really know how realistic that is of actually happening. So, yeah, going for a Lincoln's probably not the best course of action. He could just go straight into Shotgun after the Midas, something like that, or just pick up Power Treads, Aquila, get a whole bunch of basic items, and then go for a Manta style. You always have options on the Morphling. BKB is probably the safest one.
Okay, so Brewmaster picks himself out the Bounty Rune. Had the Haste Rune from beforehand already. Double damage on Noctis as well. If the support rotation gets there with a double damage on Shadow Fiend, it could be disastrous for HellRaisers. They don't have the Brewmaster split yet. Of course, they have their own supports around, but with the double damage, Noctis, together with level 3 Shadow Raisers, should be able to output way more damage than HellRaisers.
Well, they're going to run into the Scarith Mage, Fire Blast to open things up. They need 2 raises or just one huge hit from the DD Shadow Fiend. That'll do it. Drunken Haze not going to help there at all. Silencer draws first blood, gets a little bit more intelligence, and, well, it's going to be a nice little kill for the Space Soldiers, as the Scarith Mage, I don't really know why he was there all alone. I think Dread was there with him for a little bit, but certainly you can't do anything by yourself as a Scarith Mage like that.
He definitely shouldn't have stayed there, or at least Space Soldiers were smoked up, so he couldn't have seen them coming a little bit earlier. But they knew they weren't bottom lane, otherwise the Doombringer wouldn't have just been in an XP range so freely. So maybe they should have called it or anticipated a gank like that coming in. So a little bit of a mistake from HellRaisers coming out, but it's only 1 kill, it's not that disastrous quite yet. But Artis, does he have his Hand of Midas? Yes, it's flying out for him. So 5.5 minutes in, decently timed Hand of Midas. Not the fastest one, but not the slowest either. It's not like he started with the Gloves of Haste, had a Wraith Band as well before.
Getting the Midas fast, I don't think is going to be the problem for HellRaisers. Obviously, it's completed already, so mission accomplished there. Really, it's going to be once this Tidehunter hits level 6 is where the problem starts. He's only level 2, however, so problem is not going to come about for a very long time. Silencer only level 3 as well, so the Space Soldiers, they're not having the most experience. I mean, last hit denies. They have 3 heroes right on the bottom with Silencer, Ogre, and Tide down there. And that's really not where you want to be as any team. I mean, Law is going to have to do some heavy lifting, as will the Shadow Fiend, in order to kind of redeem the fact that no one else on the Space Soldiers are actually getting that much. Duel for Legion Commander is something that can completely override that weakness, though.
Oh, and you went for a Midas.
Okay, well, that happened. I think Blink would have just been better, but I guess they could try to take this late. Maybe with the Shadow Fiend Legion, that'll work.
I think they should be fine if it goes late game. I mean, Silencer as a support is or can just transition decently or be impactful enough even later on with the Global Silence. Ogre Magi as well with the Aghanim Scepter, but Frasty, oh look at the damage he's taking. 1 Thunderclap, Primal Split comes out as well, they went, Frasty is so bad, Concussive Shot to slow him down, Boulder Toss as well. Should be an easy kill really, a few more right clicks. Goddamn, might be in trouble in return to the TPs, never mind. Was it 2 TPs cancelled from Space Soldiers?
I think it was, and well, that's just the difference of levels showing through right there. It's a level 7 Brewmaster, and he got a kill on a level 2 Tidehunter. Like, any hero could do that with that much of a level advantage, and well, Tide, they sent him to the mid lane to get experience, expecting him to be a lot more durable than he was, but Clap took out about half of his HP. You know, it was pretty easy from the Brewmaster to use that, and then getting a kill straight after, and, well, I mean, the Tidehunter is going to continue to not have a good time. He has stacked up a couple stacks of Ancients, so he has 3 stacks there, but now it's blocked by the Dire, and actually clearing that without the levels on Tide is going to be very difficult. I don't think anyone else on Space Soldiers can actually clear that decently without, I mean, maybe Shadow Fiend, but it'll take a very long time, so that stack is going to sit there and rot for a very long time until Tidehunter gets level 6, level 7.
At least he's gonna be able to catch up when he gets there, or at least attempt to catch up. But the Freeman smoke comes out from HellRaisers. No blink dagger yet on the Brewmaster, but he almost has enough gold for it. If only he had the blink. Blink Thunderclap would be pretty damn devastating. Now, daytime comes, they're gonna have a little bit extra vision. The slow one low comes out anyway. Dread follows up with the magic missile. But suddenly, do they really want to dive? I guess with 4 heroes they might go. Reds wants to throw out the Doom. He's just getting choked with the vision. He's gonna get Legion Commander who's going for the TP out. Not gonna succeed. The Doom does cancel the TP. Dread, oh god, 7 HP.
He just literally walked into the tower to try to get experience. I don't even know if he did. I think he did. He's level almost 4 right now, and I think that's probably worth it for the Vengeful Spirit to put herself in harm's way like that. Even if she went down, not a big deal. That kill is going to give Brewmaster more than enough gold to complete his Blink Dagger, and well, splits up in another 35, but I think Brewmaster, a level 8 hero versus a level 4 Silencer, a level 3 Ogre, is powerful enough to just dive in even without the split and do some pretty serious damage, especially if he has anyone to support. Goddamn, can't really do it, not enough health or mana. Gorek, though, he could just dive in with the Brew, so this could be a very easy tower dive for HellRaisers right here.
Yeah, with the blink on Brewmaster, blink Thunderclap. I mean, support should be easy targets. Little Silencer, up to 700 HP with the belt of strength on him. A few magic stick charges as well. No global silence, of course. Daywalker scouts out the Skyrift Mage. But this double minus for the Space Soldiers. Noctis, his own is flying out at the moment as well. Although, if you're going for 1 already, I support just going for more.
And Gorek agrees with you because the Doom is holding on to a Glove of Haste as well. I think this might be a 4-ish Midas game. I don't think anyone else is going to be going for it. If anyone were to be going for it, I would say probably Klansky is the best one to have for the Space Soldiers. Just Silencer with a lot of farm is pretty dangerous, but he's pretty far away from that. So this is going to be a game of Midas's. And, well, Artis is chasing down the Tidehunter, level 5. So Tide a little bit more survivable now. Morphling, unfortunately, can't solo kill, but Morphling is still farming untouched in the top lane. I don't think the Space Soldiers have sent anyone to deal with them.
Literally absolute free farm. 27 denies as well. That just goes to show you're so bored on the lane that you're going to focus quite a lot on denies as well. Of course, you should do that anyway, just to keep the lane under your control, that the enemy offlaner won't get too much just freely. But Tidehunter had to run all the way back home. Has enough for arcane boots at least, so can start farming up a little bit more. Almost has the Ravage, only needs that 1 level. And HellRaiser, at least their supports aren't getting that much. I mean, Vengeful Spirit about to hit level 4, got them on 4 as well, but no swap, no Mystic Flare for them yet.
They're going to look to get a little bit more experience as they jump in mid lane. Noctis going to hit with a concussive and a clap. Rock to fly as well. And this is going to be death of the Shadow Fiend, who will explode in a Shower of Souls shortly. Oh, well, the heal's coming in. Oh, there's the Shower of Souls. Brewmaster still split off, and they actually get a Dire Courier as well. Stop reading your book, bro. Now the Earth Brewling on the run has a blink out, and looks like Afoninj is going to be surviving. They also get a solo kill on the Silencer, who for some reason thought it was a good idea to fight the Morphling solo against a level 9 hero. A level 5 probably isn't the best thing to do. HellRaisers, what was on their courier? Just magic wand parts. Oh, and then that happens. Law just walks up and overwhelming odds Morphling to kill him.
Well, I completely missed that, but the courier going down for a magic wand delivery, not worth it at all, and didn't even get it delivered as well. So Brewmaster should have just been aware of the courier coming up to him, but I completely understand. But oh, blink Thunderclap onto Noctis, no primal split of course. Can they fight Brewmaster? I mean, the supports are slowly coming in. If Brewmaster stays for too long, he might go down. There's the Fire Blast, Ignite to follow. Presti, well, he can't even get in range for anything. Brewmaster pops his haste and does escape, but Ignite brings him down to 7 HP.
That's the second 7 HP survival we've seen this game. And that's pretty insane. Brewmaster, though, I mean, if there were no supports there, Shadow Fiend was just dead meat, and that was without the split. Brewmaster not even working with his full power, and he was really unlucky with the crits. He didn't get a single one until, like, the last hit that he actually delivered before he had to run away. So a little bit unlucky there for the Brewmaster, and the item delivery wouldn't have changed that either. So he's not going to be able to completely solo kill people just yet, especially Shadow Fiend with Strength Treads now is going to be a little bit tougher to crack. But, you know, if they're all alone and if the Brewmaster has split, I'm pretty sure everyone on Space Soldiers is vulnerable.
So Frosty looks like he's finally trying to go for those Ancients, or maybe stack them up a little bit before. They aren't going to stack anyway, because there's an Observer Ward, has been there for quite a lot of time already. But Artis still keeps on farming on the safe lane. 12 minutes in, he's already level 11. Has gotten 1 kill as well, but of course died almost straight after. Legion Commander though, didn't win the duel, he just got the kill. So, at least he didn't get any damage from it. And 2-4 the overall kill score. Looking at the graphs, about a 2200 gold lead for HellRaisers. XP about 2000 as well. So, looking pretty good for them. Double Midas though, running on both teams. It's been quite some time since I've seen just double Midas for both teams.
Yeah, I think because HellRaisers have a nice little lead on this game, Artis is not going to have to go for a BKB first. Will be kind of pointless since he probably is not going to be fighting with it. So going for a Yasha Manta style or, you know, straight up Ultimate Orb for an item down the line, whether it be Manta style or Scotty, is going to be a little preferable, I think, for the Morphling. Going for a BKB is kind of pointless right now. So really, I would like to see Space Soldiers try to do something to shut down this Morphling, but what can they really do? They have Global Silence and they have a Ravage. That represents a possibility of getting the kill, but now that he has an Ultimate Orb with a lot of strength to morph, killing off this hero is going to be really, really hard, and really Space Soldiers did this to themselves. They're going to try to go for the Morphling now, or at least poke at him a little bit, but really putting 2 heroes up here is not going to be enough to shut down this Morphling, especially with Brewmaster coming in.
Well. Thunderclap, Waveform is going to almost kill him already. Thunderclap, Waveform comes out, a few more right clicks, Primal Split, completely unnecessary. I guess you can use the Brewlings for some extra pushing power, but they underestimated their own damage output.
It's a Tidehunter. You're like, oh, that hero's pretty tanky. We should probably commit a whole bunch of stuff into him, but he's only a level 6 hero. Over towards mid, I don't know what goddamn is doing. He's going to get stunned up, raised once, raised twice. Bad idea from the Skywrath Mage. I don't really know what the plan was there, but it was a bad one. Going to give a free kill over to the Space Soldiers. Unfortunately, Legion Commander wasn't in range for a duel, mostly because Hand of Midas is not a Blink Dagger. That's going to be still Legion with 0 stacks of damage. At this point, you would expect to have at least 1. And I guess the fact that he has a Midas instead is still okay for him, but Noctis is going to get jumped in mid. He's going to go down very quickly. He still has a Hand of Midas, so even though he doesn't have dual damage, he still has a lot of value elsewhere. But this Legion, if he's just going to be AFK farming, why pick up a Legion? Any hero can do this.
I have no idea why. As fast he dropped so low again from another waveform of Artist there. I mean, Tidehunter, he's not getting any breaks at all. He just can't farm up properly. Even has to bring himself a healing salve out now. I feel for him, I really do. I mean, even Silencer is doing better than him almost. Or in farm, he actually is doing better as well. Levels, they are even at least in there. But low, he's about 1 or 2 creeps away from getting that Blink Dagger now. So maybe Legion Commander can start racking up the dual damage. 15 minutes in though. Safe lane farm Legion should have at least 10, maybe 20 stolen damage. Not stolen, but gained.
Yeah, the Doom also has his Blink Dagger Hand of Midas, so even though he had a little bit of a tougher time, he does have pretty much just as much, if not a little bit more, than the Legion. He's just 100 behind, or less than 100 even behind. And he does have a Blink that he's willing to Doom up, but they're going to jump into Klansky. Global Silence is available, but that won't even help him even if he did use it. Skywrath Mage and Brewmaster taking that kill. Honestly, Brewmaster could have done that by himself. The rest of the heroes are in the area, but HellRaisers don't really have that great pushing, and they have double Midases working, so you might as well sit back and let this tower survive, unless you just want to try to go for it. It's actually very weak. You might as well go for it.
Low is trying to angle for something, but his Hand of Midas has been off cooldown for quite some time now, and he's finally going to TP out anyway, because he cannot defend, or maybe his team called like, yeah, we're not going to defend. Although they've had a Ravage and Global Silence for quite some time now, at least 3 minutes, I think. And if you're not looking for fights with those ultimates, what's your game plan?
I have no idea. I mean, they have the Midases working, so maybe they're just like, okay, screw it. We're just not going to push with their ultimates, and we're going to try to take this one late. It's a risky plan, and I think it's probably not the best one, but I mean, Frosty is getting absolutely nothing. He's finally cleared off his some of the Ancients from the Ancient stack, but definitely not enough. Once he gets his Blink Dagger, if they still don't go, I would say that's just a mistake. Fortunately for them, Artis is going to go for that Lincoln Sphere, so probably very limited value going to be provided to the Morphling through that item. So a little bit of gold that's not being used to its fullest, but if he has this much gold, you could do whatever you want with it.
He's gonna have a really fast Lincoln. I mean, he has Power Treads, Aquila, plus Hand of Midas on top of that. Usually if you get like an 18-minute Lincoln straight off, it's already good, but having a Hand of Midas is just even better. Level 13 as well. Should be the highest in the game. Yes, he is by 2 levels above Noctis, who is going for a straight off PKB on the Shadow Fiend. I guess PKBs are equally useful for both sides.
Yeah, you really need your BKBs. HellRaisers, they could just doom right through it though, so at that point Shadow Fiend is going to be a little bit unhappy about that. But the timing that Space Soldiers should be looking for is Blink Dagger on Tide, BKB on Shadow Fiend. It's not going to line up perfectly, it rarely ever does, but if they do get that at around the same time, then they could definitely make some considered pushes happen. But this is going to be up against a level 2 Brewmaster split, a level 2 Doom, and Doom is going to go for an Aghanim, so this could be pretty dangerous. Even if Space Soldiers do have all their timings down, it's still going to be a very tough fight for them, and that's going to be really where they're at their strongest, I think. So if it's unsuccessful, then they pretty much just wasted a whole bunch of opportunities.
So I have one question to you. If the Aghanims comes out onto the Doombringer, does it also remove Necromastery, since it is a passive after all?
Man, I don't know. I could look it up right now, because Doom
but
plays
look,
in weird ways.
He's gonna jump into the Lincolns. He goes though, dual used for nothing at all. I guess Lincoln's value right there and now. Blink Thunderclap with the Primal Split used. They want to go for the Legion. Should be easy kill. Mystic Flare to follow, but the Blink Ravage catches almost everybody. Dread, he just wasn't close enough, but it didn't do enough damage. There was no follow-up at all. Global Silence had already been used. Now Goret's gonna jump onto Noctis, doom him up on the Shadow Fiend. Can't quite follow yet, although Klasinki on the Silencer. Oh, Blink, a few right clicks, one more Thunderclap used. Couldn't right click anymore, and Goretz, he wants to go for Noctis. He needs to ensure the kill, swap from Dread into the Magic Missile, beautifully done. And it's a 4-4-0.
Saw Ravage hit onto pretty much everyone. We saw also how much that actually mattered. HellRaisers took that one, shrugged it off, and just kept on going, mostly just because Appanage was already split, so he didn't give a damn about a Ravage or anything like that. And Global Silence and Ravage weren't really layered properly. They used Global Silence, waited until the Global Silence was up, then Ravage, so they didn't have any damage really coming through. And the lost duel from the Legion Commander, or I guess wasted duel, let's say, it really did provide the Morphling the ideal amount of value for his Lincoln Sphere, but even if that landed, I'm not convinced that Legion would have taken that win. Like, it would have probably resulted in no one winning, but I would say it's a higher chance of the Morphling winning than the Legion.
It might be so, actually, at the moment. I mean, Morphling, he's ridiculously farmed. I'm not too sure how highly he was morphed into strength at the time, so maybe he would have been low enough. At least with the Shadow Fiend helping out a little bit, but Shadow Fiend couldn't do much of anything. Koret just Blink doomed him rather early on. Made it so that he's completely useless, and Roshan, it's going down so fast with Dread. Wave of Terror level 3, -5 armor from that, -6 from the Medallion as well. Easy Roshan Artist now, up to another 2k gold. What's his gold per minute at? 593. This Morphling he's already so damn farmed, and we were talking about how Morphling isn't gonna do as much with the early farm in the mid game as a Legion Commander would. That's completely a different case, just because he's getting so much out of it and didn't get punished at all. And Legion Commander going for the Midas, don't know, just hasn't really paid off for him or their team.
Yeah, I mean, when we said that Morphling wouldn't be able to contribute as much, we were not expecting him to have 160 CS and 3 kills at 20 minutes into the game, which is just a broken amount of farm. So any hero with this amount of farm will be able to contribute this much. That's pretty much a promise, and well, Morphling is just going to be able to do that as well. And to answer your Doom question, I don't believe, off my research, it disables Necromastery, but does it matter? I mean, Shadow Fiend, once he gets doomed, is very unlikely to turn and fight anyway, so Aghanim's up on the Doombringer, and HellRaisers are going to look to take this bottom lane tier 2 tower. And though there is Ravage and Global Silence on the other end, we saw how much it actually meant in the last fight, and they should be HellRaisers taking this tower very comfortably, and because they took this tower this easily, they should be taking the last tier 2 tower as well, or just going for high ground. They can do that. They're going to lose their top tier 2 tower, not really a huge deal because they already got a favorable trade if that happens, and now they're going to force everyone back. So Can Space Soldiers defend? They're going to open up with Brewmaster jumping in for a clap split. Frasty silenced up as well. It's going to be Daywalker to take the focus. Now the Doom on the Tidehunter. He's going to very quickly run back to his Fountain after getting literally nothing done. Will he even make it, though? He won't. He's going to go down. Gorak in the front lines is going to get dueled up. Maybe Law's going to take a little bit of damage here, but Gorak is so tanky. He does end up losing the duel. Law getting his first stack of damage, but Melee Rax is already down. Ravage is going to connect onto everyone. Will kill out the Skywrath Mage in the air, but now Artis is actually going to turn around and fight. Blows up the Legion Commander. Now he's going to look for whoever else he can find. Swap back onto Noctis into Artis. Going to bring him down very low, actually, the Morphling. Taking a full hit with that suicide attack, but still the Morphling has his Aegis, and he's going to turn around and fight. No, he's going to leave the Brewmaster for dead. Morphling, why are you leaving your wingman like that? Wow. He could have turned around and fought with the Aegis, but it looks like HellRaisers instead want to preserve it. Morphling should be able to survive, although Dread, I'm not sure if he's going to be as lucky. Artis instead just going to duel Frasties. One more hit. There he goes. Morphling killed out the Tidehunter. In the meantime, Dread occupying Daywalker and Law both will be brought down by overwhelming odds. Now Morphling wants to turn and fight. He will kill off the Daywalker. Now he's going to try to go for Law, who really has no other options than to turn tail and run. Artis, I think you should have fought with your Brewmaster, but still, it's Melee Rax is taken from HellRaisers, and they take a very good fight.
I definitely didn't understand it either, why the hell he backed off the Waveform. Had he gone aggressive to help the Brewmaster, Waveform would have minimum connected the 3 heroes, maybe even all 4. And they could have just fought that much better, but in the end, still like I said, favorable trade, they get the Rax, Morphling getting even more farm, they get a nice Observer down in the enemy base as well, on top of everything else. And 16,000 net worth all of a sudden on Morphling. We're only 22, almost 23, but still, we're so early into the game. His gold per minute is suddenly 710. We looked at it like, what? 1 minute ago it was 593. Suddenly over 700.
And off of that fight, just going to buy up a completed Scotty. You know, it's pretty easy. He won't get Aegis value, I don't think. But, I mean, even if they didn't take any buildings there, still HellRaisers would have been in a fantastic position right now. To have another split in Brewmaster this time as a BKB, so even though his split wasn't really disturbed in the previous fights, it is definitely not going to be disturbed now, and he's going to run into a whole bunch of heroes. Because he does have that split, he can do this. Legion Commander is going to be spotted out first. Brewmaster, Blink, Clap, Split, and everyone else from the Space Soldiers just got to run. Silencer is going to hit with the rocket. Mystic Flare not going to quite kill him off. He's actually going to buy a lot of time and space for the rest of his team. In the meantime, Daywalker is being chased down by Doom. Gorak will get that kill, and now duel Law onto Goddamn. This is not going to be a one duel by the Legion Commander. She has to turn tail and run. She might be able to make it out with the heal. No, Clap is going to kill her off. And also the Legion, Shadow Fiend rather, died in the back end. HellRaisers absolutely destroy the Space Soldiers.
I mean, with the lineups, with the drafts, I did not expect it to go this way. I really liked Space Soldiers draft, to be honest, for the most part. I just thought with their ultimates they should be able to dominate, but the first time they went for a fight was like, what, 15, 16 minutes into the game? And that is just too late. And of course most of it had to do with Tidehunter getting shut down so ridiculously hard. I've never seen a Tidehunter being like level 2 and with like 3 last hits or something 6-7 minutes into the game. It's just almost unheard of.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that either, and it goes to show you really need some heavy lifting heroes. Legion Commander getting the Hand of Midas, I think, was a mistake. Shadow Fiend getting it following was also like an even bigger mistake. So just all these small itemization, less than ideal situations for the Space Soldiers, plus the fact that their heroes weren't getting that much to begin with, means that HellRaisers are going to be moving on and Space Soldiers are going to be out. I'd just like to quickly say how hard it is to keep Space Soldiers straight from Screen Squad, who also have SS in their name. I almost made that mistake every single time I said their name today.
Yet, for a second we even had an SS, double SS in the lobby as well, so yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate that they have the same letters there. But in any case, guys, HellRaisers, they advance to the next round where, oh! Wait, they were looking at the def win there as well, just because HellRaisers, the previous HellRaisers, dropped down from the winner bracket to that round. So, suddenly, this HellRaisers, ex-Compass Gaming, they are almost in the loser bracket final. They only have one more best of one to win, but it's going to be Hehe versus Denial. The winner of that game will be going up against HellRaisers, and the winner of that, in turn, will go up against Power Rangers. So, lots of good Dota still to come in the Yard Red Festival. But for today, we're done for the day. So, thank you so much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the game. It was a pretty damn fast one, and unfortunately only a best of one, but what can you do? If you like the casting, be sure to follow HeflaTV as well, everywhere, on the Twitch channels, as well as our social media, of course, HeflaTV on both Facebook and Twitter. And for the casters personally, @Coucher for me, and Mike, where can people find you?
I'm going to be Mike Loris pretty much everywhere, Twitter, on Twitch as well. Yeah, that's most where you can find me, and on these channels, most commonly is where I will be. Wait, let me get this straight. So HellRaisers just won, and because the previous HellRaisers would have been the next opponents, the new HellRaisers are going to beat their past selves and move on around for free?
Yes, that's exactly how it should go down.
That's freaking awesome, man.
Oh yeah, so HellRaisers for the win, man. Just easy wins for them all around so far. And yeah, guys, like I said, this is it for the day. So thanks once again for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed. Appreciate it that you came, and just have a good one.
You can't touch it.